at you from the great outdoors.
Like easily digestible is what we're going for. I bought Der Steppenwolf by Hermann Hesse. Hello everyone, welcome to vlog. I'm at my boyfriend's place and I don't have my tripod with me, so this is what we're gonna have to work with for now. Today I just thought I'd do like a very short reading vlog, like a 2 like a 2 or 3 day reading vlog, just to get back into it. I love vlogging. Vlogging is so much fun. I vlog a lot actually. You just never see it because I kind of abandon all of my vlogs. I don't know about you all, okay, but my reading has been a bit bad this last month. To be honest, like I finished like 2 books in May, but I finished them like on the 2nd of May and the 31st of May. So it is not exactly, how do you say, successful. And so because of that, I feel like I've never read a single book. I feel like I don't even know that I like reading anymore. Yeah. So I have been in a bit of a reading slump. Okay, I'm gonna say it. I'm gonna come here and be vulnerable. I've been in a reading slump and I just don't want to be anymore. So yeah, I started a book 2 days ago. I went on like a little book shopping day with a friend of mine and I bought Der Steppenwolf by Hermann Hesse. I've been really meaning to read more German books, like both books in German as well as by German authors, just because I feel like I don't know anything about German literature. And as someone who has reading basically as a personality trait at this point, I feel like I'm kind of disappointing my people, you know? I mainly read in English, in case you don't know, in case you are new here. I'm German, but I mainly read in English. And I just want to get more into this. Also because I feel like my language abilities are actually better in English at the moment. And that's just a bit embarrassing to me. Like, obviously, German just feels more natural, and I obviously get to speak it more and stuff. But I feel like, in terms of complexities, I'm way more in my depth with English than I am with German. So, yeah, this is not like a super old classic, which is what I wanted, because the thing is with German, at least in my opinion, I feel like German as a language has changed a lot more than English. Like, I feel like I can read a 250-year-old book written in English pretty easily, like without too many issues. But with German, reading something that's 100 years old already feels so different. Obviously, also because I'm just not used to it. Like, I read obviously a lot of older English books. But yeah. And this book is about a guy who thinks there's a wolf inside of him. But the wolf is a metaphor, okay? I'm about a third of the way in, like I've read this much, and there's a few things. Number one, I'm on page 80, and the N word has already been dropped 3 times. And I think it's just very interesting that they left it in here, because I know, for example, with a few children's books, there's been quite a big debate over the last few years where in the Pippi Longstocking books they removed the word and like changed it, which personally I think is a good thing. But let me know what you think if you really need to. Yeah, my point is it was very jarring reading this. I get why it's in here. It is a product of its time, if you will, but the use of it, first of all, is like, the word itself is offensive obviously, but the specific use case in this book is also very offensive. Like, he uses it kind of to describe less civilized, savage people and ways. Like, he uses it as a descriptor. Okay, Hermann. And the other thing is, I feel like the female rage girlies would go feral for this. Like, I don't know. I mean, it is about a man, unfortunately. But the things that are described, as I said, the Steppenwolf, he is a metaphor, right, for this wild, non-conforming part of ourselves that we all kind of have. in the West at least, and that is like very prominent in the West, where conformity is so important. And I feel like that's a theme that like the female rage novels explore a lot, and that like the girlies are talking about a lot. And this book talks about it a lot. It's like one of the main themes so far, I want to say. So yeah, that's what I'm thinking of the Steppenwolf. I'm actually having a good time. Like I was kind of afraid that it would be bad, but it's not. So far, I'm having fun. Ooh, new perspective. I haven't started anything else. However, I want to. And now we are confronted with the everlasting question, what should I read next? I don't have my books with me here, obviously, because I'm at my boyfriend's place, but I know for a fact that I have on my TBR right now The Lost Hero by Rick Riordan, and I really want to read that one, but it is like 500 pages long and it's a little bit intimidating for me. I like long books. However, in this current headspace that I'm in, where it feels like I will never finish a book ever again, I'm not sure if like this 500 page long book is the right move for me, okay? And everything else I have on my summer TBR are kind of classics. And like I'd prefer to read something that isn't a classic, just because I've already read quite a lot of classics this year, and I'm a little bit tired and I want something that's easy, like easily digestible is what we're going for. A book that I really want to read that I might order myself from the bookstore, because I was at the bookstore 2 days ago and I was actually looking for it, is Little White Lies by Jennifer Lynn Barnes. It's a Jennifer Lynn Barnes kind of reading slump, okay? We're pulling out the big guns. And if you don't know, Jennifer Lynn Barnes is the author of The Inheritance Games and The Naturals, both series I have read. Like The Inheritance Games, I love The Naturals. The Naturals was probably my reading highlight of last year. And the Little White Lies, that's a duology, and it's like about a debutante season. So I'm picturing like The Summer I Turned Pretty meets A Good Girl's Guide to Murder or something like that. I don't know if that's the case at all, but that's kind of what I'm picturing vibe-wise. And I feel like that one would really work for me right now, because I think it would get me like in a summer mood, as well as just Jennifer Lynn Barnes' books. They're so fast-paced and like easy to get through. And I think they're so much fun. There's some like, have I ever had as much fun as I did reading The Naturals? I don't know. Okay, the ebook is too expensive for me to get right now. Tell me why. If you work in publishing, I'm actually curious about this, okay? I live in Germany, so English books aren't produced or put out here. You know, where all of that happens abroad, obviously, in English-speaking countries. Tell me why getting the paperback, like, printed, shipped, and distributed in a foreign country makes the book cost $9.50. For me to get the paperback. Tell me why the ebook costs €8. I do not, I'm genuinely curious about this. I know this is actually worse in Germany. Like, I've seen books where the ebook is more expensive. How? It doesn't make sense to me. Like, yeah, I get that ebooks have to cost money. You can't just put all of your ebooks out for 99 cents. I get why that is, because, you know, like, you still have to pay the author and the beta readers and the editors and everyone working in the publishing house involved with the project, the illustrator for the, like, I get it. You have to pay a lot of people if you're putting out a book, okay? But tell me why printing the book and distributing it and storing it like physically in a warehouse, how that is cheaper than the digital copy. I do not. Okay, sorry. So I'm not gonna get the ebook because no, you guys, being me is so difficult. I just came on here quickly because look what just arrived. Okay, yeah, I ordered it. Sue me. Okay, I guess. I decided to order it, and actually I ordered it yesterday, and it's already here, and it's not even like 12 at noon. I never know if 12 at noon is AM or PM. I think it's PM. I could be mistaken though. Yeah, this is, I don't know, a family of fortune, a mystery to solve, a town full of secrets. You know what? Do I need to know anything more is the question. And honestly, I don't think so. I was just like going through, and there's like shit in there. I don't know if that's a spoiler, but that I enjoy. That I think is fun. And then I bought a second book, because why not? You know, and I'm going to show it to you. I bought Magnolia Park's The Long Way Home. I've already read this, but I wanted a copy for my bookshelf. Okay, listen. I very rarely do this. Like, I usually don't repurchase books. However, I am a big rereader, and I'm definitely going to be rereading Magnolia Parks. And so I just wanted it. Okay, that's my excuse. I wanted it. I'm going to reread it in the physical copy. And also, I have the first two already physically, so like not having the sequels feels a bit wrong. Yeah, I'm back at home now, and I don't want to be. This wasn't my choice, okay? We don't have to talk about it, but I'm distraught. And I don't have any food at home. My breakfast, mind you, it is 11:30. My breakfast was oats, just pure oats. And milk. That's what I had for breakfast at 11:30. So, needless to say, my day is going great. We're gonna turn this around. It's gonna be fine. But for now, I need a minute to be miserable, okay? I'm gonna take my minute, and then I'm gonna get back to you. Reading updates. I have gotten into Little White Lies. I'm exactly 100 pages in chapter 17, and I am enjoying it. It is literally all the series I've read by Jennifer Lynn Barnes so far. This is the third one. They all start the exact same way. It's always a girl, and we immediately learn she's incredibly smart, like smarter than most of us probably, and also smarter than people think her to be. They're incredibly independent. Usually they don't have parental figures that they can rely on. They were always raised by a single mother, and in the case of this one, as well as the inheritance games, the identity of the father is actually a big part of the mystery. And you know what? Never change the running system, you know what I mean? Like, Jennifer Lynn Barnes, you can write 1,000 more of these exact mystery series, and I will pick them up and devour them every single time. I feel like it took me no time at all to read these 100 pages. Like, I feel like I've read for 20 minutes, okay? Other than that, what I can tell you about the plot. So, one thing I didn't know about this book is that apparently there is this, like, social media site or blog or website, I'm not sure, that people anonymously apparently submit their secrets to, and then this blog post, they're interspersed, like, into the book. Usually before a new chapter or at the end of the last chapter, however you want to look at it. And so far, that they mean nothing to me because they're anonymous and we don't know who sent them. Because like Soya, she's the new girl in town, and she doesn't know about this blog, but everyone else around her does, and everyone, like, there's a guy, he's like shocked that she's never heard about it. So it's like big deal, apparently. One thing that I find funny, in the book, they write that it isn't like that this girl who runs the blog, allegedly, she writes these secrets like on her body, on like scandalous parts of her body, and posts like kind of artistic, not nude, but not nude photos of these secrets on her body. But then obviously that, or like, I honestly think they should have printed it, but they didn't. And instead they're just using these like random stock photos, which I think is a bit funny. So that takes me kind of out. Like, I feel like they either should have committed to like making it the same as the written, like as these posts are described in the book, or they should have just given us like the text without any pictures. Yeah, I have no idea how these compute to the story though. I don't know their role in the story yet. We just learned something kind of important that ties this plot back to the main plot, but so far it's not really a big thing. Other than that, there is no love story that I can see so far. You know, Jennifer Lynn Barnes loves a love triangle, and we have met 2 young eligible bachelors so far. But I don't think that she's going to date either of them, honestly. Like, from what we see of these boys in the few scenes that they're in. Yeah, other than that, I don't even know what the mystery is yet. So far, the only mystery we have is Sawyer trying to figure out the identity of her biological father, which I don't know if this is controversial, okay? As someone who knows their father but doesn't currently have one, I think this is a bit ridiculous, because Sawyer grew up without her mother, and her mother was not a good mother. Like, she wasn't present at all. Sawyer mentions multiple times that she feels like she was raising her mother as opposed to her mother raising her. So her mother wasn't the kind of mother that like you would want, that you would wish for as a little girl. So I get wanting a parent, I guess, but like her father must have known that her mom had been pregnant, because her mom got pregnant very young and then she was ostracized. Like, she was completely isolated. She was kicked out by Sawyer's grandmother, and she's had to fend for herself ever since. So like there's no way, because like in these high society circles, at least the way they're described in books, news travels fast, you know, like everyone knows that Sawyer's mom was kicked out because she got pregnant as a teen. So like there's no way Sawyer's dad didn't realize that, because it is very heavily implied that they were like in the same social circle. So I don't get why Sawyer is so like obsessed with it. And the thing is, like, she doesn't even give a reason, you know, like if she said she just really wants to know her father, she feels like a piece of her identity is missing or whatever. Personally, I'd still find that weird or unrealistic, but at least it would be a reason. But so far, we don't have one. I'm so sorry, the sun is going down, it's kind of gloomy outside, we're just gonna have to work with this. But so far, we just don't have any reason. And I don't know how I feel about that, but I'm assuming that very soon we're going to get introduced into a much larger mystery where the father identity drama is just gonna be like a side plot. But that's how I'm going with this one. As I said, it's an incredibly quick read. I have no doubt that if you liked her other series, then you would probably enjoy this as well. I think it's a good summer read, because this takes place like in the south, and it's summer when the book starts. So yeah, I'm having a good time so far. And then okay, one second. How do booktubers do book updates? Because I've been talking about just one of my books, and I'm 9 minutes into this clip. Riddle me that, YouTube. I'm gonna be quick about this one. Still reading Steppenwolf, and I'm just over halfway. I don't know how well you can see that. I'm on page like 177, and I am really liking this. I'm liking it more now, I think, than I did in the beginning. This book is about depression. I don't know if this is common knowledge. I wasn't really aware of it, but Harry Haller, the protagonist, is pretty, or Harry Haller, I guess, is pretty depressed in the beginning of the book. And it kind of follows him coming to terms with that, and coming to terms with how his lifestyle just leads to such deep-rooted is it discontentness or uncontentness? How the dissatisfaction of his daily life leads to this severe depression, and how he kind of, now he's starting to come out of it. One thing, he at one point describes his depression as like being under a bell jar, which I was like as in deep bell jar, because I'm pretty sure Sylvia Plath wrote that after Steppenwolf. So was Sylvia Plath inspired by this, or was it, because I always, like, I've obviously heard of the bell jar as a metaphor for depression, like being stuck under a bell jar, and I always assumed that that came from Sylvia Plath, that she was the one that like coined the term with this novel. But maybe it was just a motif of like the early 20th century. I don't know. I just thought that was interesting. I am really enjoying the language in this, surprisingly. I don't read much in German. It's definitely something I want to change a little this year, and I'm finding it interesting how easy it is for me to read. I mean, I know, like, factually that German is my native language, and that thus reading and consuming German media would be easier for my brain. However, I'm still a little confused by it, because the thing is, with this one, I find it a lot easier to continue reading. Like, I'm usually someone who struggles a lot with attention. Like, I have a hard time reading for like prolonged periods of time. I'm more of a 20 minutes here, and then going peeing and getting a drink, and then reading another 30 minutes, and then getting distracted on my phone and reading another 15. That's more my vibe. But with this one, I'm finding that I'm very much like stuck to the book and not so prone to distraction. And I'm wondering whether it's just this specific book or whether that's just reading German prose in general. Other than that, no further updates on this one.
Okay, everyone, welcome to final clip. I'm coming at you from the great outdoors. Yeah, okay, listen. I've been back on my daily walks bullshit recently, and I've been doing so well this week. And the weather has been shit all week, but today especially was so bad. It was just thunderstorming and raining all day. It is literally like 10 degrees right now, and it's raining. But I was like, I can't break the streak. My mental health cannot handle a breakage of the streak. This needed to happen, unfortunately. But yeah, I just wanted to give you my final wrap up for this week. Okay, so I finished Steppenwolf by Hermann Hesse. In this book, the ending, I was so confused. Because like the book starts out very... I'd compare it to the Bell Jar. I think it's about a protagonist who like longs to just not be anymore, you know? And who thinks about not existing in this world anymore, but at the same time is too excited by certain aspects of life to actually go through with the suicide. And then the end of the book, I don't even know how to... I think the most accurate comparison I can make is like The Master and Margarita by Mikhail Bulgakov. Very different plots, kind of similar vibes though. There's someone coming. So yeah, very, very weird overall, but I think I liked it. Also like very queer. I mean, obviously like for its time, but there was quite a few hints at like queer relationships and sexual encounters and all of that, and I think that was very cool. Okay, I'm just gonna walk past this person 1 second. Okay, yeah, so like definitely hints at queer relationships and sex and all of that, which I thought was very cool, but I just thought that was interesting. I just thought that was cool. Maybe that's interesting to some of you as well. Okay, then one thing I haven't talked about in this video at all, but which also happened, I listened to the audiobook of The Mirror Cracked from Side to Side, which is I think the 8th book in the Miss Marple series by Agatha Christie. The reason I didn't talk about it is just because I think like so far I found that all of them have been like very equal in quality. I'm not reading them in order. I don't think you have to. so far I thought that all of them were like quite on par with each other in terms of quality. So I think like if you enjoyed one of them and you want to have a similar experience to any other ones of the Miss Marples that you've picked up, I think you can just go for them at random. This one I really enjoyed, though I wouldn't recommend it as a first just because it takes place like chronologically a lot later, and I think it makes more sense to start earlier. But it's about a movie star, which I thought was cool because it kind of introduces that as like, it kind of gives a larger scope to the story. It doesn't just take place exclusively in Miss Marple's village and with the villagers that like live in this village. So I thought it was good. I liked the mystery. I actually predicted what happened, okay, which I was so proud of. Not like fully, but one key aspect of the mystery I did predict, which never happens to me, because frankly I just don't give a fuck about solving mystery novels. I'm just there for the ride. There's a car coming. And then I'm now 50 pages into Little White Lies by Jennifer Lynn Barnes. I don't really have anything more to report other than what I already told you in the last clip. Still enjoying it, still thinking it was fun, still think I'm gonna finish it in no time at all. And that's everything I read this week. I haven't started anything new because I was kind of glad to finish some stuff as well. So I'm gonna see you all in the next video. Bye.